Get injected with enough meat in Maine to knock yourself out.
They can inject that into my veins because that is just cork beautiful.
In Nolans, these po' boys are rich on something.
Meat, and more meat.
You can never have too much meat in a po' boy.
Stacked, sliced, or stuffed, we are getting to the meat of the matter.
Just heaven. It's like,
This is a lot of meat. We are about the meatballs. This is an intense situation going on here.
a lot of meat. I mean, look at the meat. There's so much meat.
This roundup of food paradise is filled with meaty madness. Seafood is great for fresh and fast, but serious northeastern meat cravings demand low and slow. And in Portland, Maine, they're smoking it their way.
Barbecue's not just in the South. People are doing it right up north.
Yeah, this is Maine, man. This is Yankee barbecue.
At Salvage Barbecue, they get creative with what goes in, on, and under their meat. Chef Jay Villani even MacGyvered his own smokers.
They're all propane tanks, believe it or not.
Yeah, it's the barbecue ingenuity.
What really turns me on about barbecue, it's the connectivity that people have to it. Barbecue's supposed to be festive. It's supposed to be a good time.
Grab some friends and share the carnivorous combo of beef brisket, pork ribs, pork shoulder, and chili that they call the meat coma.
The meat coma seemed appropriate. After you eat, let the tryptophan kick in. We have a couch out in the lounge over there.
Using an internal marinade, Jay tames the salvage beasts by injecting them full of testosterone.
We do injections with all our meats just to enhance flavor. We let them sit and marinate overnight. We rub them up, and then we bring them right to the smoker.
Each meat gets its own mix, starting with the pork. He begins the swine brine with a bit of veg, and then
just some more aromatics, herbs, now some dried chilies, some anchos, some pasillos, a little miso paste, a little bit of umami to it. And last but not least, these are our pork bones from smoked pork butts. Nothing goes to waste here at Salvage Barbecue.
Jay finishes with sweet cherry and pure H2O.
Some good old state of Maine water, and then we'll just let this sit and it'll simmer overnight.
With the pork-friendly flavors all blended, he's ready to stick it to a bone-in Boston butt.
It's got everything going on that you want out of the pig. It's got fatty, it's got marble, it's got texture.
The injection marinates the meat from the inside out.
We're trying to enhance the meat. We're not trying to overpower. Oh.
Brisket's got next.
I like something that's finished on corn, get a little marble, get a little fat, get a little flavor. That's my kind of cow.
He beefs up the brisket using a house-made veal stock. Then he rubs it with a secret spice blend.
You gotta pay attention to the fat cap. It's what really seals in the juices. If you pay attention to it, you'll be rewarded at the end.
Next, meat number 3, pork ribs get coated in mustard.
Liberally apply your mustard. It's gonna add a tang to the meat. A little stickum for the rub, and that also helps with the bark.
Let's see what those smokers can do.
This is a reverse flow smoker. The heat roils under a baffle plate, so I get the heat, but then we also get the draft of the smoke going through the flue.
All in the name of amazing meat. While the other coma components get smoked, Jay makes chili.
We're gonna sweat our vegetables, our aromatics, chili peppers. Let's get a little brown on our meat. Brisket and pork.
He adds chili paste, tomato sauce, and a Worcestershire vinegar blend. Then salt, sugar, and secrets.
And then at the end, we throw in some dark local stout beer.
But what about the great chili question?
To bean or not to bean? It's a meat-based chili, and we'll just leave it at that.
That stews overnight. Next day, Jay runs to the smokers like a kid to the tree on Christmas.
Salvage Barbecue smoked pork butt. To me, it looks pretty banging. Nice bark, nice fat content. Looks nice and juicy. I can't wait to dig into it.
After chopping the pork, he slices the brisket.
The spring to it, the moisture of the meat, the smoke ring. This is exactly where this piece of meat needs to be.
Now it needs to be on a tray and belly bound. We're talking 1/3 pound of brisket, 1/3 of a rack of ribs, 1/3 pound of pork, hot meaty chili, and a selection of sidekicks.
Here's our famous meat coma. Hope you have time for a nap.
I've been waiting for this all day. All I could think about was coming to Salvage and eating brisket. It is so tender and juicy.
It's very juicy. It doesn't even need sauce.
It's like a sweeter chili.
Yeah.
And the spice is just enough that you still get that chili flavor.
It does not get any meatier than this chili.
See, the smoke ring is just gorgeous, beautiful color. It just melts in your mouth, and the flavor just comes pouring out.
It was definitely the meatiest rib that I've ever had, and the bark was really nice.
They can inject that into my veins because that is just corked beautiful.
They can do that, but I'm not eating you.
In Portland, massive meat medleys at Salvage Barbecue are turning BBQ into BBZ. Why count sheep when you can count meat? Submarines, hoagies, grinders, everyone's got their local hero. When it's a big meaty po' boy you're biting into, you know your taste buds are in New Orleans. And they just gotta dance.
It's festivals in your mouth. It's everything that New Orleans brings.
You can never have too much meat in a po' boy.
I want all of the meat. Meat, meat, and more meat. Okay?
I'm a meatitarian.
At Krabby Jack's, the po' boys are so stuffed full of meat, you need to grab them with both claws.
It is meaty madness. They're overflowing. You can't get enough meat in them.
Chef Jacques is taking Nola's passion for protein and bringing it down home.
It's your grandmother's cooking on a good night. It's just love.
Feel the love in the pork beef gravy combo of the Fleur de Brie.
It's a play on the fleur-de-lis, which is a symbol of New Orleans. When I first had New Orleans cooking, it was just love at first bite. It was totally different. It blew my mind.
Jock hits a cut and cooked ham with brown sugar.
I'm adding an extra sweetness to the ham, a little more intensity. As it bakes in the oven, it'll form a nice glaze like glass.
Then he mixes brown sugar with cola, heating it into a thick syrup to add another layer of glaze.
You need something to dissolve the sugar in, and it also adds a little flavor.
While his pork caramelizes in the oven, Chef readies his roast beef.
We started off by punching holes. This is where all our garlic will go. Kind of feel like a horror movie.
He stuffs all the cinematic stab wounds with garlic, then a dry rub takes the flavor even farther.
We use a Creole seasoning. I like to do this the night before and let it rest so that all the seasoning gets into the meat.
When it's ready to cook, Jock covers the beef in olive oil and Worcestershire sauce.
It flavors the meat. This will also help steam and keep the roast at a nice temperature.
After a roast and a rest, the meat is warmed up with a gravy made from duck fat and debris. The beef drippings that put the debris in Fleur de Brie.
All those scraps, all those extras of the meat, that's where all the flavor comes in.
The ham gets heated in stock and butter right beside its beef FF, and then just like the good times, they're ready to roll.
This is the French bread that we make our po' boy sandwich with. It's only made in New Orleans.
A swipe of mayo, and then bring on the debris-soaked beef.
The next thing we want to put in is that nice cola baked ham.
Next, what they call dressing the sandwich. Crispy lettuce, juicy tomatoes, and snappy pickles.
Fleur de Brie po' boy, meaty madness, New Orleans style.
It's even dressed to impress. Would you just look at that?
This is a delicious hot mess.
It's juicy, it's fresh. And when it hits the back of my palate, man, it just, all kinds of things go on, and it just explodes.
I can taste that Cajun flavor in the ham and the spices and the debris.
The roast beef has this New Orleans type spice to it.
I was like a firecracker, like, oh, wait, that's a different flavor. You know, it would pop. Ah!
After eating this, I do not feel like a po' boy. I feel like a rich boy. Cha-ching!
Meat lovers know Krabby Jack's in New Orleans is a non-stop carnivore carnival.
I have meat madness!
In Milwaukee, stuffing a burger with cheese and bacon ain't enough. Pile on the pork and prime rib, please.
This is how burgers should be made.
Our descent into meaty madness continues in Milwaukee. Those hometown heroes, cheese and beer, have found a perfect partner. The beefy burgers at the family-owned Crafty Cow.
Crafty Cow is a place that's cozy and warm, that you just want to sit at the bar for hours and talk to your friends because you really feel like you're at home.
It's certainly been Simone's home since Chef Devin Eichler sailed into her life. He's quiet, but he's got skills.
Devin's a great cook. It's one of the things we really bonded over when we first started dating, and now here we are, almost 3 years later, married, so something stuck.
Yeah.
They've made their mark by bringing a meaty Minnesota mainstay to Milwaukee, the Juicy Lucy.
The Juicy Lucy is actually a hamburger that's been stuffed with cheese.
But the most special Lucy is a meaty monster 65 million years in the making, the Metasaurus Rex.
We wanted a burger that when it came out of the kitchen, everyone stopped and looked at it and immediately wanted to know what it was.
It's a glimpse of lunch in Minneapolis.
I lived there for a couple years and I loved them, and when I moved back home, I needed them.
Devin's version features top shelf talent.
The best beef you can get. We're gonna add our spice blend, which is black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, and some eggs to hold everything together.
He rolls up a 6-ounce baby Rex, splits it in half, then lays in plenty of white cheddar and bacon before sealing it up good and tight.
Want to make sure that nothing comes out of that burger. Keep it all inside and real juicy.
He's trying to avoid a velociraptor.
That sizzling, that's Crafty Cow music right there.
While the burger cooks on the outside, the cheese inside will transform into molten magic. And Devin prepares to trick it out even more with sliced prime rib, pulled pork, more bacon, and a fried egg.
Once that yolk spills all over the burger, it makes your Juicy Lucy even juicier.
Star attraction in place, followed by that quartet of supporting players and a duet of homemade sauces.
Our house-made barbecue is gonna be a little tangier, a little sweeter, and then our white barbecue is gonna be a little creamier and a little richer.
Hey, you hear something?
The Metasaurus Rex, it's coming.
Roar!
Look at all the different meats, the cheese, the egg. A dinosaur couldn't eat all this, but I'm going to.
You can definitely taste the prime rib in there. It's amazing. This is how burgers should be made.
The bacon is really the star, and then you taste the pulled pork with the salty goodness of the egg at the end is pure perfection.
Metasaurus Rex.
For the cheese-loving Wisconsinite nursing a meat tooth, here's some Southern barbecue loaded curds.
I love cheese curds. I lust for barbecue. So I combined everything I love all into one.
Local curds, fresh and squeaky, are coated in a house-made beer batter.
The sweet, malty flavor really balances out the richness of the cheese.
Just a few minutes in the fryer, and Devin has a pot of Milwaukee Gold.
Curds.
He's just getting started with the dairy. House-made cheddar sauce forms a creamy combo with a pair of shredded cheeses. Pasta causes a stir, and a trio of meats makes some noise.
Brisket, pulled pork, and last but not least, bacon.
Curds meet the way creamy mac, the 3-meat mashup, and a southern topping of green tomatoes and pimentos. Devin's duo of sauces makes a return appearance, and I don't even know what to call it.
This is a Milwaukee side salad.
It's Milwaukee meaty madness.
This is amazing. I don't know if I've ever had mac and cheese with cheese curds, but that's good.
It's like the perfect amount of cheese with sauce and meat, the white barbecue, and then the original barbecue, so it's kind of sweet and tangy.
Oh, that's good. I really can taste the barbecue and the cheese. What's there not to love?
The brisket, the bacon, and the pulled pork is so juicy. The mac and cheese is great. It's nice and cheesy. It's the perfect combination.
Beer made Milwaukee famous. Cheese made it rich. And now, thanks to one Crafty Cow, meat is driving it mad.
Meaty madness!
The mighty Italian meats are stacked a mile high at this epic sandwich spot in Denver.
And you're talking about a really thick sandwich full of meat.
They're digging in and pigging out in Denver, where the meaty sandwiches are stacked guess how high? Yup, 1 mile.
There is no such thing as too much meat.
That's the motto at Zepp's Epic Sandwiches. Owners Richard Eisenberg and Michael Brenner created a space to match the town's energy.
Everything we do at Zepp's is based upon the Colorado lifestyle, the hiking, the biking, snowboarding, skiing.
Extreme sports. And so we wanted extreme sandwiches.
And they've got them, starting with a meaty Roman holiday, the Epic Italian.
We are stacking the meats high. We're slicing them daily.
The frame for this masterpiece is a locally baked baguette.
We like to toast the outside of the bread to give it a little bit of texture. If you don't have good bread, you're not gonna have a good sandwich. Now that it's toasted and perfect, it's time to load on the meats.
Which themselves are part of this warming trend.
Start with our ham, get that going. Next we'll go with our capicola ham, delicious spiced Italian ham.
And it wouldn't be what it is without this paisano.
Salami is always classic in an Italian.
Pepperoni hits the grill and Michael seasons to taste.
Doctor it up with a little salt and pepper for a little added flavor.
The meat takes cover under some debris.
Mozzarella cheese that we slice fresh every day. It's a nice Italian cheese to go with the Italian sandwich.
Once that stack's warmed through, Michael veggies out over the bread.
Fresh arugula gives it a nice peppery flavor.
Some house-made vinaigrette brings the zest factor.
Freshly sliced tomatoes, spicy cherry peppers. You gotta have a little kick in your sandwich.
Kalamata olives add a touch of salt without all that, salt.
Fresh red onion. These are great to give the sandwich a little bit more crunch. And now, star of the sandwich, the Italians that are all nicely coated with their mozzarella cheese.
And he drops the top on this Denver delight.
We just like to close it up, see if we can sneak all that deliciousness in there.
Welcome to the meat packing district.
The Epic Italian, only at Zepp's Epic Sandwiches.
Love and combo of all those different meat, a little salty, a little smoky.
I feel like red onions are essential. Dressing, solid. The best part of a good sandwich is being able to have every ingredient in every bite.
Peppers that are in there add a little bit of spice.
And you're talking about a really thick sandwich full of meat, perfect bread. Everything you want. It's warm, juicy, flavorful.
That's Zepp's with a Z, Epic with a Q, and sandwiches with a
Zepp's Epic!
Can you handle 2.5 pounds of Texas Q rolled into a SoCal burrito?
Yeah, you just got the whole barbecue shop right there.
Right.
And when you're hankering for meatballs in Manhattan, add this stop to your bucket list.
Oh my gosh. It like melts in your mouth.
Juicy barbecue brisket, spicy smoked sausage, succulent pulled pork. There's a whole herd of Texas flavors stampeding through LA's Huntington Park. And the roundup is meeting at Ray's Texas Barbecue.
I know what it takes to make good barbecue. I'm from Texas. You can't be representing Texas in their barbecue if it's not good.
Renee, aka Ray, got bit by the Texas barbecue bug on his first trip to the Lone Star State.
When I took that first bite out of that brisket, it was heavenly. When somebody walks into my door, I want them to feel that same feeling and that same happiness feeling and that same just wow factor that I felt when I went to Austin the first time.
Everything's bigger and better at Ray's Texas Barbecue. Check out the massive meaty masterpiece known as the Meat Man Burrito.
It's a full Texas platter, all wrapped up in a 14-inch flour tortilla weighing 2.5 pounds total weight.
That platter runneth over with 3 different kinds of barbecued meat. First, a big boneless pork butt. Ray uses only top-notch Duroc pork.
What are we gonna marinate it with? Nothing, we're just gonna add rub.
Ray's rub is a 50-50 blend of kosher salt and very coarse pepper.
All this beautiful salt and pepper that you see here on top, it's gonna create a coarse layer, kind of like a bark of a tree. That's what all the concentrated flavor is gonna be.
He puts that porker in the smoker for a 6-hour sit and spell. Next, the brisket is fixing to join in.
You need a high-quality USDA prime Angus brisket. It just means more marbling. The more fat, the better.
Ray gets the whole thing trimmed into shape. A sprinkling of his spicy secret elixir helps the salt and pepper stick.
Because you want that rub to stay, pat it down.
Smoking is a Texas 2-step process. 6 hours of pure naked smoke absorption, followed by another 6 all wrapped up for maximum juiciness. And the third meat, amigo?
We have a combination of chorizo, which is from the southern part of Texas, and then you have your Central Texas jalapeno cheddar 2-in-1. It's pretty badass.
The sausages plump up in the smoker, while Ray's wife Annabelle makes the traditional Texas barbecue sidekick, macaroni and cheese. With the meats all smoked, Ray's ready to wrap a whole Texas-sized barbecue into one big meaty burrito.
This takes a 2-man operation.
Mac and cheese with beans on top form the base.
She handles all the sides, I handle all the meats.
Duroc pulled pork, chorizo sausage with jalapeno and cheddar, prime Angus brisket, stuff it all in there, and hand it off for the final cut.
Ray's Meat Man Burrito, Meaty Madness, just got a little more insane.
We got 3 kinds of world-class barbecue here wrapped up into one burrito. Best thing I've had outside of Texas.
I'd say the burrito weighs a good 2 pounds.
2.5. 2.5 easy. Yeah, you just got the whole barbecue shop right there.
Right.
Trademark of good barbecue is you gotta have tender meat. You gotta have meat that's well done but still juicy and succulent. It's gotta have a good bark on it. It's gotta be smoky.
It's amazing. The best pork I've ever had.
Whoever thought of it is genius, because this just goes great together.
Ray may follow the barbecue rules of Texas, but his California creativity comes through in the presentation. Like, get a load of the loaded brisket smoked potato. The potato itself smolders in the smoker's red oaky embers.
This is California red oak. What makes this wood so special that it's dense? It burns low and slow, which you're able to create that beautiful smoke ring.
He rubs down a Texas-sized potato with the same mixture of super coarse S&P. Then, vent holes and a foil wrap.
Hasta la vista, baby.
Ray unwraps a fresh smoked brisket and gives it the jiggly test.
Look, you see how it jiggles?
When his hot potato comes out, Ray adds sour cream, a blend of cheeses, and fresh chopped chives. But it ain't fully loaded yet.
Because this is all about the meat.
Plump chunks of smoked sausage, a stack of bark-encrusted brisket, and a humble spud becomes the loaded brisket smoked potato.
2.5 pounds of meaty madness.
Just heaven. It's like,
If you can get the bark such as this, you have yourself a home run here.
it's so tender and juicy.
That smoke flavor from the brisket and the creaminess of the potato, it's just a perfect blend.
He should be in competitions in Texas. That's how good this barbecue is. This rocks. Truly, truly, this rocks.
In all the important food groups, you have meat, then you have just a little bit more meat, and you have a hint of vegetables, and then you're gonna bring in the potato. Absolutely outstanding.
There's things that make you say, and then there's things that make you say,
At Ray's in LA, you can take the barbecue out of Texas, but you can't take the Texas out of barbecue.
Ray should be voted in as an honorary Texan. I will have to contact the governor.
Cosmo carnivores in meat-loving Manhattan have a craving that never sleeps. Luckily, there's a place that spends every day having a ball.
Meatball-centric, meatball-heavy. It's huge, it's delicious.
Euphoria, I would say.
The spot that speaks their language? The Meatball Shop.
Meatballs are a coming together of ingredients that people looked over on the first pass, but they come together and they make something so much better. We're very proud of our meatballs, but we're not trying to replace our grandma.
That look back brings us to big things, like the Meta Meat-tacular Bucket of Balls.
Every culture has a meatball. They're like the underdog of the food world. They're like the Rudy. You want to cheer for them, you want to root for them.
Meatball, meatball, meatball.
Everybody has a story about a meatball, too.
The story begins with the marinara sauce, starting with the onions and garlic.
This is classic tomato sauce. Definitely our #1 seller by a lot. All right, I'm gonna add some salt just to get those onions sweating. This is what brings everybody into the kitchen. You just do this and then you smell like you're a good cook, at least.
Tomato paste provides richness and thickness.
I'm gonna throw the oregano in.
And then he brings it all back home.
We use San Marzano tomatoes, the real deal from Italy. I just basically go in and break up each tomato, but I want to leave it like nice and chunky and let the real tomato flavors build and shine. It's like bright and acidic, but has a sweetness from letting it cook and caramelize for a little while.
While that goes on simmer vacation, Daniel balls out.
We're gonna make some of our classic meatballs. These are the balls that we built this restaurant around. We have beef and pork blend here.
The pork lends a little extra fat, which means a lot of extra flavor.
We got our ricotta here. Ricotta means recooked. It's a byproduct of the Parmesan cheese making process. It's light, fluffy, but very mild in flavor.
A touch of chili flakes, salt, and fennel seed rounds them out.
Breadcrumbs. Bread is kind of the secret to a good meatball.
Egg holds it all together. Herbs freshen it up, then our chef gets a little handsy.
Don't be afraid of your food. Play with it, enjoy it.
Everyone has a theory on what's the proper meatball size. Daniel's are a happy medium.
You know, it cooks kind of on the faster side, but it's still meaty enough and big enough that it holds on to the moisture.
Into the oven for some big town browning, then cross get a bucket off the bucket list.
We could do 25 balls in a bucket.
Is your name Ellen? Because that's DeGeneres. And the sauce?
Made with love. Look at that avalanche of sauce just oozing on there. Cheese time. This is grana padano. Has a little bit of nuttiness.
On top of Manhattan, all covered with cheese.
A bowl of meatballs is good, a bucket is better.
You obviously taste that great beef, but then the herbs come through and shine.
A solid tomato sauce is hard to get right, but it's amazing here. It's perfection.
Oh my gosh. I love how there's chunks of tomatoes in the sauce. The cheese on top was perfect. It like melts in your mouth.
Very authentic and very homemade.
The multiplex is filled with super guys and gals, but this one might save us all. The Meatball Hero.
The Meatball Hero is what this place was built on.
The roll is key in keeping it together.
We use bread baked locally from a place called Il Forno up in the Bronx.
That uptown loaf lifts this sandwich to new heights.
It's got a nice, airy crumb with lots of nooks and crannies. The whole secret to a great Meatball Hero is it's got to have enough sauce. I don't mess with it. I just pour it on and let it sink in. We take our meatballs, put them on the bottom bun. I smash them up a little bit so that there's actually a bit of meatball in every bite.
That move also keeps them right where he wants them.
You don't want your balls to roll out of your sub, like, you know, you bite one end and it shoots a ball out the other end at your date. That's no good.
The mozzarella is well thought out too.
This cheese is really amazing. It's got a great pull when you bite into the sub. It melts up really nice and great.
The hot melty cheese is contrasted nicely by a cool, crisp sidekick salad.
Hunger is no match for this Meatball Hero.
The meatballs are amazing. They have just the right amount of sauce, some melty cheese on top. We are about the meatballs.
There's a great amount of mozzarella. It's not too much, it's not too little.
Their bread is really good. It's got like a great crunch to it.
Toasty on the outside, but chewy on the inside.
It's a hero for a reason. I'm saved.
I thoroughly love this sandwich.
From borough to borough, the Meatball Shop is where meat lovers stop.
Oh, that meatball was everything I needed today.
Why settle for a wrap when you can get a whole spit full of tender beef tableside in New York City?
When I saw the spit going around of the meat, it was pretty much game over.
The love for meaty meals translates into every possible language. And in New York City's East Village, it's speaking Lebanese at Ozatar.
time we come, it's a great experience. And there's no other place in the neighborhood that is this type of cuisine with this type of quality.
My family's Middle Eastern, and when I saw the spit going around of the meat, it was pretty much game over.
The checkmate goes to Chef Tarek Falouz, who's named his restaurant after a Lebanese spice blend.
I grew up eating Lebanese cuisine. I wanted to bring it to New York City to share the love and the joy of the food and the cuisine.
A Lebanese meal's all about sharing, starting with appetizers called mezi.
There's these small plates, which brings everyone together on the same table, so it's more of a social dining experience where everyone is expected to share with everyone else on the table.
The ultimate shareable item is a meaty Ozatar exclusive that brings the whole Spitfire experience right to your seat. Tableside shawarma.
Shawarma is very popular street food in Lebanon. It's very similar to hot dogs over here in New York, where you find it in every street, every corner. Our tableside shawarma is a little different because it's an entire experience.
It begins with a large piece of beef and an even larger piece of steel.
Shawarma has to be thin slices, very thin slices, so this way it cooks faster, it cooks evenly. Chunks on the spit will become more like a kebab versus shawarma.
This is also where that namesake spice blend makes its entrance.
Now, shawarma has different recipes depending on the region. However, there are many ingredients that you definitely have to have. One of the most important ingredients is the ground cardamom. Ground cardamom is very essential in the Lebanese, Middle Eastern cuisine. It goes very well with red meats. We'll put cinnamon to give it a little sweetness.
More boldness comes from coriander, cumin, paprika, and a sesame paste called tahini.
That's going to make you remember hundreds of years of shawarma traditions.
Red wine vinegar and olive oil are the final colors on this palette. Let the finger painting begin.
You want to make sure all the spices and the marinade reaches all the slices. And once you carve it, you want to have the same taste in each bite. Wow, it smells so good.
Tarek marries the meat to the miniature spit. It takes a while, so he stacks on some history.
Here at Ozat are all the recipes, our food that I grew up eating. Recipes I learned from my mother, my family, and it's as authentic as it could get.
The spit is topped with veggies and set to spin out. While hand-cut potatoes are fried and seasoned. 90 minutes later, the shawarma's ready for the show.
We serve it with a mountain of delicious French fries. We add kosher salt, sumac, and fresh chopped parsley. The homemade tahini sauce, homemade hot sauce.
There's also house-made garlic sauce and a traditional garnish of onions and spices called a badoo.
This is our world-famous tableside shawarma.
This is an intense situation going on here. There's a roasting tomato and onions spinning about a foot from my face. This is really cool.
This is a gift. Are you kidding? It's amazing.
This is a lot of meat.
It's super delicious, and there's a spice on it that almost seems very unique to this shawarma.
The punch of cinnamon with the cumin is absurdly delicious.
Oh my God. It's so savory. It's so tender and juicy when you bite into it, and the parsley and onions, it brings out all the flavors of the meat. It's just so perfect.
There's definitely some pizzazz to these fries. I love the seasoning on it.
I think it's an awesome opportunity to be exposed to this cuisine that is so prevalent in so many cultures, and then obviously the wow factor.
When in New York, come carve yourself a slice of meaty madness. Broadway's got nothing on this place.
This is unlike anything I've ever seen before. Dinner and show, all of it, all in one. Yes.
Texas knows beef, and this Houston hotspot does it incredibly Wellington.
It's almost like a steak and a dessert at one time.
The pursuit of meat mastery is no mystery in Texas. And in Houston, the stakes are especially high.
My God.
Oh my gosh.
Texas knows meat. Bigger the better. The bigger the better.
This is beef country.
And riding high at the top of the food chain is B&B Butchers and Restaurant.
If you haven't had steak at B&B, you haven't had steak.
Owner Benjamin Berg says the name pays tribute to his great-grandfather. But this ain't some stuffy old steakhouse.
When you walk in the front door of B&B Butchers, it's a unique atmosphere. It's not your grandfather's steakhouse.
He's got the old-fashioned steak with kind of the hip atmosphere.
We're all about the meat, though. Big cuts, dry aging room.
Butchers isn't just a clever name. They have a deli-style butcher shop right on site.
Over 23 cuts in the restaurant, from American prime to Japanese Kobe.
For the ultimate classic meat treat, bust into the Beef Wellington. Chef Tommy Elbashary shares the love.
If you're serious about meat, you gotta come to B&B.
If you like your meat tender, filet mignon is the way to go.
When the cow moves, the tenderloin doesn't move. That's why they call it tenderloin.
With just a bit of basic seasoning, the filet gets a quick sear in olive oil.
You have to sear the filet all around. You don't want it to leak in the buff biscuit. We just sear it off. It's still raw in the middle.
Some foie gras gets an even speedier sear.
And we gotta really, really be careful. It's just like butter. So it has to be like less than a minute on each side.
From duck liver to duxelle, a mushroom filling he makes with cremini, oyster, and portobello.
You could really use any mushroom you want. I like to use different mushroom. Just give it more flavor.
Garlic, shallots, and olive oil join with the fungi, and after a little fun in the oven, chef blends in breadcrumbs, parsley, and truffle oil.
Oh, truffle, mushroom, smell like heaven here.
Everything cools down to be wrapped in buttery luxury.
Because we're using buff pastry, and it's really soft, and you don't want any juices that go in there or it's gonna melt.
Duxelle, foie gras, and filet get all tucked in.
Done.
Then an old-fashioned reminder of the ranch.
We have our own brand, B&B. We're gonna get it really nice and hot. Now you gotta be really gentle with this. Don't press too hard.
Tommy covers it in egg wash. While the bundle bakes, he heats a sauce of veal stock.
This is heaven on the plate. It's the Beef Wellington, the steakhouse classic.
That is cooked to perfection. Are you kidding me?
The pastry goes really well with the beef. Wow.
The tenderness and the flavor of the steak is impeccable, and the crust is like a biscuit I've never had before.
Great infusion of flavor, just melts in your mouth.
Delicious meat, savory sauce.
It's almost like a steak and a dessert at one time.
This is the birthday cake of steaks.
I love this meat. Beef Wellington. Beef does the body good.
B&B knows the classics, but they also know how to get creative, like inventing a shank where no shank has been before, the chicken shank.
Oh, it's amazing. The people are going crazy. They used the veal shank, lamb shank, but now we got the chicken shank.
It's all about getting it in shape. An all-natural Texas chicken gets cut in half and dressed down.
I'm gonna knock this out. See how strong I am?
Oil, onions, lemons, and stock in a skillet. The chicken's ready to get cooking.
The Chabellini onion. It enhances the flavor. Once it's caramelized with the lemon flavor, and the chicken is like amazing.
The chicken comes out of the oven a golden tender tower, enhanced with onions and lemons.
You want to make it look more sexy?
Tommy tops it off with a buttery parsley sauce.
Here you go, the chicken shank from B&B Butchers and Restaurant.
A chicken dish at a steak restaurant has to be amazing, like the best thing you've ever tasted.
This is a tower of deliciousness. I love the juiciness, I love the sauce on top, and I really love the presentation of the chicken.
Yeah, it's very citrusy. It's got a good kick to it, savory and juicy. It's the best chicken I've had.
Heavenly? It is better than heavenly. Sinful.
Even on the great steak landscape of Texas, B&B stands out as a butcher shop, a restaurant, and a center for meat fulfillment.
I'm having a moment.
After chowing down on all this meaty madness, it may be time for a salad. Nah.
Woo! Now we're cooking with fire.
Here's the story of a donut burger, bringing up sweet and savory.
It's all my childhood dreams on one plate.
This is extreme brunch in the best way.
It's the story of a Bloody Mary with more options than a new car.
Eat, drink, and be merry. Bloody Mary.
Woo! Absolutely delicious.
When breakfast married lunch, there was much more than a hunch.
It's amazing how popular brunch is.
It's a naughty way to have macaroni and cheese for breakfast and get away with it.
Whoa.
It's like everything I've ever wanted in a man, but on a plate.
We love brunch. Calories don't count on Sundays.
Calories don't count on Sundays.
In food paradise, that's the way we all became the Brunch Bunch. The tide has turned in the coastal Cali enclave of Newport Beach, where brunch is looking new and humorously improved at Boss Cat Kitchen and Libations.
This is extreme brunch in the best way.
The food they have is just so unique and out there. Hands down, say the best brunch I've been to.
When we opened Boss Cat, I told them I wanted a loud brunch, I want it to be a big party, and to have fun food. We just wanted to have fun.
We were talking about what different items we come up with, and Chef Peter, he's a little crazy, but he is very smart in this department. He knows fun food.
That's Chef Peter Petro, whose outrageous brunch fare has been making serious waves.
This is where you're gonna have that cheat day when calories don't count on Sundays.
Calories don't count on Sundays. That's right. That's right.
Good thing, because there are quite a few in the donut burger.
It's absolutely insane. You can't find this anywhere else.
I love the donut burger, just everything about it. It's all my childhood dreams on one plate. You could just squish it right up, and there's the whole thing, and once you know it, you breathe, and then it's gone, and it disappears.
Peter's brunchtime magic act begins with bacon.
I love bacon more than I love my children. It's one of the most delicious, perfect foods on the planet.
While the bacon bakes, Peter gets his grind on with the beef brought in from the Midwest and prepped fresh every day. 2 4-ounce patties hit the 500-degree grill.
We smash the patties down so it creates a good caramelization. We season with salt and fresh ground pepper.
For Peter, this is the best part of waking up.
We start cooking in the beginning of the day, and the smell hits you, and the sizzling and the sounds, and everything is wonderful.
Like other brunch burgers, this one gets an egg, but Peter fries his eggs in duck fat.
It's got a unique flavor that's unlike anything else. Butter is delicious, but so is duck fat.
And so is Peter's fever dream of a bun, which is sliced and grilled while the patties are flipped and cheesed.
We have many different layers of flavor. We have some sweet, we have some salty, mixing together just to create a whole wonderful experience.
The stacking starts with the bacon and continues towards the sky.
This is the ultimate brunch food right here, but it wouldn't be complete without a scoop of ice cream, because ice cream just makes everything happy.
Take that, Mom.
This is the donut burger, and this is how you brunch like a boss.
It's messy but amazing. So good.
This is one of the best brunch burgers I've ever had in my life. The burger's medium rare, juicy, tender. The bacon adds a nice little salty spin to it. The ice cream brings a nice little sweet flavor, soothes it down.
I've always been a fried egg on my burger kind of guy, but you can really taste the flavor that the duck fat adds to it. It really makes it nice and rich.
As soon as you bite into that burger, that yolk spills out, absolutely insane. It's so good.
It's genius. I have found my last meal. If I had to die tomorrow, I'm eating this donut burger with ice cream.
Those planning to live a while longer might want to also try the fruity cereal French toast.
It's the silliest thing, and when Chef made it for us, we were like, this is absolutely ridiculous. And sure enough, it's gotten like 1 million hits on social media.
Makes me think about Saturday morning cartoons, but now we're all grown up, so we're having a little bit more fun with it.
The fun begins here with fresh baked brioche that Peter soaks in a cinnamon sugar egg wash. Then he takes it to the gravel pit.
We really smash it down. Pretend like you're a kid and, you know, when you were having fun with your cereal and you always wanted to play with your food, but I always got yelled at for playing with my food. So now I'm just going to play with it and I'm going to do it my way. That is pure happiness.
Peter grills down on that happiness, transforming his dream into a sweet stack of reality. Bacon is added, of course, but then Peter goes off course.
Most people for French toast, they use maple syrup. That doesn't go with cereal, right? But condensed milk does. It's got a great, rich, creamy flavor. Oh, that's my favorite right there.
Fresh berries add a tart, sophisticated contrast, but then Peter's inner child returns with a vengeance.
We're taking this over the top. As adults, we can do whatever we want. We're putting ice cream on it for brunch. Fruity cereal French toast, because calories don't count at brunch.
Mind blown, literally. It's so good. It literally tastes like heaven.
It's sweet, but it's a little bit salty. It's like everything I've ever wanted in a man, but on a plate.
This is not your normal French toast.
I like that they use the condensed milk. It's kind of like you're having milk and cereal at the same time when you're a kid. It kind of gives that feel. I'm having French toast and ice cream for breakfast. Doesn't get any better than this, honestly.
If you look like this, that's a good brunch.
And no matter how many Boss Cats are brunching at Boss Cat, the food will always be the main attraction.
I think he likes that better than us.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Sorry.
In Arizona, it sometimes feels like you're brunching on the surface of the sun. Luckily, in Chandler, southeast of Phoenix, there's a place that's cooler than cool.
The party doesn't stop.
Chero's Hash.
Forget about it. I mean, it's great. The reason the food's so good here is because we put Italian love into every dish, baby. That's it.
With white onions and colorful bell peppers, this hash matches the flags of Mexico and Italy.
Now we're cooking with fire. This huevos rancheros is gonna be over the top and extreme.
Diced potatoes hefted up along with a bit of black beans. Now that that's all hashed out, Gino gets sauspicious.
Ordinary.
Exquisite.
Exceptional. Absolutely delicious.
In the desert, you gotta stay extra hydrated. And at brunch, that means Bloody Marys. Build your own with the Bloody Mary Bar.
50 different options, everything you could want in a Bloody Mary, it's here, and more. Let's go with the big 32 ounce.
He chooses a bacon powder rim with celery vodka.
We have 5 different vodkas that we infuse. Adrian's adding lemon juice and Worcestershire sauce to get the party started. And here comes our Bloody Mary mix.
A standard stalk of celery dives in and invites all its closest friends.
Got a little savory with the salami. We got a pickled tomatillo, a nice horseradish pickle. Very popular, by the way. Can't go without a boiled egg.
He heats it up with jalapeno, then adds pickled okra, pickled beets, and caprese skewers.
Caprese's fresh mozzarella and tomato. It's an unlimited amount. Whatever you can fit in this glass, go for it.
Gino goes for bacon and jalapeno poppers.
Don't ever drink on an empty stomach. That's what all the food's for. Bloody Marys and brunch are a match made in heaven.
Cheers. It's crazy. I've never been happier.
Yummy.
Woo!
It's a great hangover drink. You just continue the buzz from the night before.
Eat, drink, and be merry. Bloody Mary.
I love the olives and the pickles, and I always add a little lemon. It's my favorite.
I feel like I'm at the fair. It's like 4th of July.
For sun, fun, and brunch in Chandler.
It's like a club, but for breakfast.
Won't you? You wanna do that again?
When the brunch bunch feels a tingle in their sweet tooth, they pull up to Edgewater, New Jersey. Punch in and get to work brunching at the Brownstone Pancake Factory.
When the weekend comes, I can't wait to get in my car at 6:45 in the morning to beat the rush hour because this place is insane. But there's nothing like the brunch at Brownstone Pancake Factory.
It literally makes you want to be happy.
These dino-sized delights have been brought to life in short order by Jersey boy Bobby Bruness.
My parents owned a small luncheonette diner. You know, I was side by side with my father at a very, very young age. It's kind of like the School of Hard Knocks, but it's hard-boiled eggs.
When Bobby took over the diner, his Willy Wonka whimsy extended to the decor, as well as the candy-covered pancakes.
You know, when you bring that stack of pancakes or shake to a table and you just sort of see how they react. Whoa! The way they smile, you never get tired of it.
One dish that'll turn your world upside down is the deep-fried cookies and cheesecake pancakes.
The fun part for me is really doing stuff that no one would ever think makes sense.
The foundation for that platter is the batter, which was first created by Bobby's grandfather.
My grandfather had this affinity for pancakes, go figure. They don't exist in Greece, but for some reason he just had a real, joy for them. And he started working on this amazing recipe that's been going since really the early 70s.
Grandpa blended flour with 2 kinds of sugar, eggs, oil, vanilla, and buttermilk. Sure we have enough?
We see on a Saturday or a Sunday well over 1,000 people a day. It's a lot of pancakes.
The batter is for more than making pancakes. It's also the ultimate coating for a cookie heading into the fryer.
I kind of feel like anything you fry would taste great. What I do is we split them down the middle. So if you see, you have this fried sort of cookie, but it's also pancake. So it really has that amazing taste and flavor.
Cookies crafted, Bobby griddles full-sized flapjacks, dusting them with crumbled sandwich cookies. Once flipped and stacked, they're layered with cheesecake and those fried cookies.
But we're not done. We're gonna add some chocolate syrup, and last but not least, some magic, some powdered sugar. Dessert for breakfast, why not?
Oh my God.
Oh, man. Oh.
This is so amazing. There are actually cookies in the pancakes. Wow.
I'm in heaven today.
The cookie crumbles are chocolate, the sauce is chocolate. They're all my favorite things in singularity, but combined just makes it for one amazing breakfast food. You have the taste of the cream and the chocolate, and then the fried batter on the outside. It's so moist and amazing. I love it.
Anything fried is really good, but when it's chocolate, it's just amazing. I love cheesecake. I'm a cheesecake fanatic. It's just amazing. And all this together, it's like, wow.
For those hoping to drink their brunch, Brownstone has something sweet and straw-sippable, the Maple Bacon Breakfast Milkshake.
Does somebody help you eat this thing? Or something? Or maybe a crane to bring it up in the hand, bring it to my mouth.
So I'm really a big kid at heart, and that's kind of why you see a lot of these concoctions and crazy ideas. So this particular shake starts with a mason jar that we put vanilla icing on, and we put granola and rainbow sprinkles.
Bobby blends vanilla ice cream with milk and maple syrup, creating a breakfast-flavored shake.
And this is the best part. When you can't decide whether to have pancakes or waffles, you're gonna get both right on top of a shake.
Along with 3 strips of crispy bacon, a snowstorm of powdered sugar, and more pure maple syrup.
This is our maple bacon breakfast shake.
Good.
I've never seen anything like this in my life. I mean, this looks like it came from Mars.
This is like a mad sugar rush cocktail.
It's good, delicious. The waffles are really good and they're very squishy.
Wow, I don't know if this is brunch, dessert, or what, but it's delicious.
I just want to dip this in here and have the ice cream and the bacon because this is amazing.
Bacon's one of my favorite things on the planet after chocolate and the pancakes. Definitely tastier on a milkshake.
That's just great. It's so thick, the shake, which it should be. I don't even know what to tell you. I just want to go home and go to sleep after this.
If you must sleep, just note, there'll be more crazy creations waiting when you wake. It's what keeps the brunch bunch rolling along.
We love brunch!
Searching for a super hearty brunch that can fit in the palm of your hand? Well, in Norfolk, Virginia, your prospects are looking good at Handsome Biscuit.
You're looking at something good.
Owner David Hausman, what made you want to court the brunch crowd?
People were just looking for some high energy to kickstart their day, and we felt like we could make it a party.
Former record store owner David is a serious jazz buff, which shows up in the jazzed up names on some of his sandwiches, like the Hella Fitzgerald of never growing up.
Half Smoke's just a cool, fun place to hang out, an adult playground, where you can go and do things your way, break the rules, relax, and have a lot of fun.
The music, the atmosphere, the board games made me feel like I was jumping back into the 90s, and that's what I really liked, because I'm a 90s baby.
But you don't have to be in Gen Y to see why it's so fly.
It takes me back to when I was in kindergarten.
It's a tasty tribute to 90s nostalgia as they try to take over the brunch world with the Pinky and the Brain.
Pinky and Brain dish was inspired by the old Southern classic chicken and waffles.
But swapping waffles for the fun of funnel cakes.
So we're taking cinnamon and cocoa powder and making it into a very chocolatey, gooey flavor that we combine with the carnival funnel cake, so you're combining vanilla and chocolate at the same time.
Where does the red velvet come in?
Red velvet is actually just chocolate, and the red is food coloring that makes it look different. You can really start to see the red color coming in. You can just feel the batter change a little bit.
That batter gets totally tubular. Then it's off to the funnel cake maker.
The exact same one you would see at a carnival. But this is actually a shallow fryer because the oil is only 2 or 3 inches deep, and that gives us a perfect fry every time.
He uses a special ring to keep the cake contained.
Flip this baby over, and it's just gonna float and hang out for a little bit and be all done.
The red velvet batter is next to take the cake, and then Andre stacks the flavors into 2 layers.
And as you can see, it looks like a brain. Now it's time to assemble Pinky. Here we have free-range chicken breast that we slice into little strips we like to call Pinky.
No cartoon mice were harmed in the making of this brunch.
I'm gonna get this secret seasoning mix on this chicken.
Buttermilk, egg, and flour round out the 4-part dredging process. That chicken gets a wicked good fry, and then
it's time for Pinky to meet the brain.
It's Saturday morning on a plate with colorful cereal, Pinky and the Brain, and various forms of sugar. Booyah!
It's genius, it's insane, it's Half Smoke's Pinky and the Brain.
It's crispy, salty, sweet. There's so much going on. This is like the perfect brunch dish ever.
The fried goodness of the chicken mixes in really nicely with just the incredible sweetness of the funnel cake. Really amazing.
The funnel cake is sweet, creamy, amazing. The chicken is crispy but tender.
The chicken brings the crunch, which makes the brunch.
Dessert brunch. There's sprinkles everywhere. I love everything sprinkly, glittery. I'm a girl, so I like it.
My inner child is screaming loud. This is amazing. I feel like I'm in an amusement park.
Washington, D.C., be a kid again at Half Smoke. The brunch bell is ringing in downtown Detroit, where the food and festivities go off the massive do-it-yourself Bloody Mary bar.
Brunch can definitely be an all-day affair here at Brass Rail. It starts pretty much at 11 a.m., and it's pretty much the last man standing, I would say.
Kick off your non-stop Sunday any day with the Brass Rail's version of steak. Have you hit the wall on boring brunches? Try climbing the Brick of Tots.
Oh, the tots, one of the hottest things on our menu. You got everything all in one plate that's just oozing with flavor.
The brick is built with freshly fried tots, stacked high like cannonballs, and dressed for battle with crumbled bacon. Once again, it's 4 cheeses, but this time they're speaking Spanish.
For our queso, we use white cheddar. We use a Mexican-style cheese, yellow cheddar cheese, and we also use another Blanca cheese. Get it all over.
That richness gets tamed by a wave of veggies.
The jardiniere is gonna add a nice little pickle flavor with just a little bit of spice. Pico is made in-house. It's sweet, it's spicy, it mashes everything around.
In case you forgot, this is brunch. Russell caps this mountain with a fried egg and his signature bacon aioli. What's that up in the sky?
It's the brick of tots.
This is so much better than breakfasted potatoes because there's a wonderful combination of the tomatoes, onions, and the egg.
It doesn't get any better.
A mountain of goodness.
At the Brass Rail, like Detroit itself, brunch has been totally reinvented. So dig in.
It's Brunch Rock City.
Everyone knows the creamiest, dreamiest, steamiest comfort food comes from the Deep South. And in Orlando, Florida, that goes double for Southern brunch.
The grits, the pimento cheese, the biscuits, the pancakes, all of it. Get it here every day of the week.
It's 7 days a week of indulgent deliciousness at 7 Bites, where chef and owner Trina gets inspiration from a special cook with a special look.
A tribute to my grandmother, to that quintessential 50s housewife vibe that she had. It's very Southern and very 50s oriented, but with a modern twist.
With bites like these, you're gonna wanna take more than just 7.
Just come in here and splurge and just enjoy it. That's what food's for.
For a mother of a brunch that's so flavor ripe it goes into overtime, be expecting the 7th trimester biscuit.
It's a naughty way to have macaroni and cheese for breakfast and get away with it.
Not just any macaroni and cheese, the 5-cheese mac and cheese.
It used to be just 5, but we decided to make it a little more Southern and we added pimento cheese, and so now there's 6, but we still call it 5-cheese mac and cheese.
Trina flavors cream cheese and mayo with dried onion and garlic.
And our secret ingredient, the celery seed. We're gonna add in both of our cheddars, a yellow sharp and a white sharp. And I like the taste of a sharp cheese. If you're gonna eat something, eat it with gusto.
She makes a cheese sauce starting with a butter onion roux.
First cheese we're gonna add are the soft cheeses, which makes it luxurious.
Then she powers up with Parmesan.
That very strong flavor, a little salty Swiss cheese. That gives the nice tang that Swiss has, and the mozzarella. To make it ooey gooey and stringy.
And her kitchen wand works its magic.
This is what's really gonna make it velvety and creamy, ready to be mixed with the noodles.
She shells out for the perfect pasta.
The more crevices it has, the more cheese it absorbs.
And makes her fluffy, flaky biscuits from scratch.
It's a butter and buttermilk biscuit. The buttermilk adds body to the biscuit. It creates a thicker, more luxurious feel.
Think Grandma would be proud of these biscuits?
Oh, I know she would. It's her recipe. She got up every morning and made biscuits.
Trina fries an egg and adds applewood smoked bacon.
I love the flavor of it because it has a little bit of a sweet undertone to it, more than just salty.
Sliding that breakfast onto a biscuit makes it not just brunch, but Southern brunch. Then she tops it with magnificence.
This is stacked perfection. As if this isn't naughty enough, bacon potato chip crumble adds a little bit of crisp and snap to it.
The 7th trimester biscuit.
Messy never looked so good.
Oh, beautiful.
Yay, my favorite!
So I don't think there's anything wrong with carbs on top of carbs, but I don't even know if a fork is big enough to hold all this.
The fluffiness of these biscuits is pillowy, heavenly. If the scale is 1 to 10, this would be a 20. The most delicious pillow, absolutely.
If you're from the South, pimento cheese is everything. With the crumbled up potato chips is genius.
It's got the tang and the sweetness, and then of course the runny egg. The runny egg makes everything better. It's a grown-up mac and cheese is what it is. Every Southern dish put together in the most decadent comfort dish you can imagine.
It wouldn't quite be brunch without a hangover cure, like the baked, smashed, and loaded.
If you've had a few too many and you were loaded the night before, this will help.
And it's just as spectacular if you haven't.
This is my favorite way to have a potato.
It starts with some messy fun, rubbing the potato in margarine. Why not butter?
Butter doesn't have a good high heat threshold. It'll tend to caramelize or burn, and margarine doesn't do that.
Then a coating of kosher salt.
The salt is gonna pull the moisture out of the potato, so it's gonna sit for 24 hours with the salt on there before we bake it. And then as we're baking it, it adds a lot of flavor into the potato.
After the baking comes the smashing.
And while it's nice and hot, we are gonna get the pimento cheese right on it. The next thing that goes on is our 2 eggs.
Big bacon pieces, sour cream crema, and fresh chopped chives.
Baked, smashed, and loaded. Even better for the morning after.
Crunchy and creamy and savory. It hits all of the notes.
I love eggs, I love bacon, I love potatoes. Star of the show on this is the pimento cheese.
Pimento cheese is definitely the bacon of all cheeses. The South's gift to breakfast.
This is a perfect baked potato, and its inside is soft, the outside a little bit crunchy. The pimento tops it off. The little chives in there brighten it up. Just a great combination of flavors.
Like bar food plus diner food.
It just makes you feel really good and really satisfied.
With its sinful southern brunches, you'll be in seventh heaven at 7 bites.
Every bite is just perfection.
The food and the mimosas, we have the best time. We actually stay here for hours.
And that's just fine with owner Andrew Carmines.
Everybody eats brunch on Sundays. Where else would you want to spend a Sunday than sitting here on the water enjoying fresh local seafood?
Andrew's parents.
It's awesome because that's what you wanted, right?
That hollandaise is amazing. It is so buttery.
Because it's fresh.
The Hilton Head Hungries all know, when it comes to brunch, it's Hudson's or bust.
Brunch. Yeah, baby!
Nothing feels better than a serene Sunday brunch, unless it's a party that rolls right into dinner service.
Mangia!
Straight from Rome, this 6-foot pizza could fill the Colosseum.
I've had delicious pizza in Italy, but the pizza here is better.
Can't stop eating it. It's fantastic. Oh.
Roll through the Lombardy region with this delicious rotolo.
It's like a cinnamon roll, but with pizza stuff. If you can imagine that.
It's just a very satisfying, perfect little thing.
Take your tongue on a tour of Italy without ever leaving the States.
I'm excited, it looks so good.
Every bit as good as anything we get in Italy. It's delicious. It's just delicious.
Yeah! Sorry, Grandma, but it's so good.
Mando, delicioso.
Call it Cibo Paradiso, because this slice of food paradise is all about Mangia meals. Nowhere is Mangia Mania more massive than in Brooklyn, New York. First, because there's a massive amount of Italians here, and second, because the pizza is genuinely massive at Fornino.
When I saw the pizza coming out, it was like bottle service at a club. I was waiting for sparklers to come out and just fireworks.
I've had delicious pizza in Italy, but the pizza here is better.
The biggest difference is chef and owner Michael Leub, whose pizza-fied life seems to be destiny.
The name Fornino is actually my mother's maiden name. It means little oven. Somewhere in the history of my family, there had to be a baker that had a little oven.
But when Michael bought this place, it included an unusually large oven, and that changed his life.
This oven is very unique. I understand there's only 2 of them in the United States. I went actually to Italy, And there's a place called Campo di Fiori where they make these very long 6-foot pizzas. When I saw these pizzas for the first time, I was amazed. And seeing these gentlemen cut them with these big scissors, I said, wow, how cool. This is the way it's classically done in Rome.
He brought the concept back to Brooklyn and started wowing the crowds with mural-sized munchies like the Michael Special.
Roman pizza is a little different than Neapolitan pizza. It's a little crispier, and it has a little bit more ingredients on top.
He begins by stretching 2.5 pounds of dough out to a rectangle. How does he know it's long enough?
We have these boards specially cut for these pizzas, so let me check. So here we go. So this pizza is, we need an inch or two more.
Size isn't the only thing that makes Michael's Special special.
This pizza is a white pizza. There is no tomato sauce on it. First, we're gonna start off with a little olive oil to get that crust nice and crisp. And now we push it down with our fingers to give us a little docking. So this way the pizza doesn't blow up.
Once it's docked, it gets loaded.
This is a pecorino romano, so it's a lot sharper than a Parmesan cheese. The pecorino's got a little bit more of a kick.
That pecorino bite is balanced by creamy fontina.
It's from the north, and it's probably the second most popular cheese in Italy. These two cheeses together, it's a great balance.
The 6-foot plank of paradise slides into the oven for about 10 minutes, but Michael's just getting warmed up. He adds color with arugula and radicchio, then calls the pizzarazzi.
This is the star of the show. This is the butternut squash. And it's sweetiness, it's nuttiness, it's everything you really want.
Actually, Michael also wants more cheese. Hello, burrata.
This is the creamiest of all the mozzarellas. We're just gonna put that all over this pizza. You see how creamy it is? It gives such a wonderful texture. It's salty, it's very special.
The creamy burrata meets a spicy Italian salami called soppressata. Hot chili flakes and lemon. Lemon?
Which goes very nice with the butternut squash. It gives a sweetness to the soppressata, and it gives a little kick to that creaminess of the burrata.
A final drizzle of olive oil, and this pizza really measures up.
Mangia! This pizza.
This is the biggest pizza I've ever seen, but I can't wait to make it the biggest pizza I've ever eaten.
This is like a ribbon cutting ceremony.
So good.
Wow. It's the best crust. There's an airiness to it, but at the same time, it has the perfect chew. That's really delicious.
So you've got the arugula, which is giving it that peppery citrusness. You've got the creaminess from the burrata and the butternut squash. That's everything I need.
And you got like something lemony going on in here, but it's like a sweet lemon.
Every time you take a bite, you get a different flavor, and that's what I like about it. I can't stop eating it. It's fantastic. Oh.
There's a rockin' pizza going on right here.
And when you're feeling the need to feed, 6 feet of pizza perfection will have you speaking in tongues.
Mangia!
As you might expect, the city that gave us the Italian stallion, Philadelphia, also has a major passion for Mangia meals.
Italian food is a huge deal in Philly. We have like a giant Italian immigrant population, so Italian food's everywhere, especially in South Philly.
The big-bellied stone oven and open kitchen aren't the only things that make Pizzeria Vetri special.
Their Italian food is different. It definitely has an American twist, but it still feels authentic. And the chefs are right there. They're incredibly passionate. I love watching them while they work.
That authenticity comes straight from Italy to boot.
A lot of our techniques come from the Lombardia region of Italy, Bergamo specifically. I think it's very important to stay authentic to where our recipes come from.
The recipe everyone around seems to love is that dough, though.
There's nothing like the crust they do here.
Luckily, their dough is a big part of the colossal prosciutto cotto calzone.
The biggest thing about the dough is the amount of time we give it for the yeast to develop flavor through fermentation. It's about 4 days before it ever gets into the oven.
Another time-sensitive part of the process is brining their own in-house prosciutto cotto.
Our brine is a 3-2-1 brine. It's basically 3 gallons water, 2 pounds salt, 1 pound sugar.
Fresh rosemary, garlic, and thyme add some herb appeal.
Basically, the water seeps into the muscle, and the sugar and the salt just gets fully incorporated into the protein inside. This is gonna sit in our walk-in for about 21 days, and then we're gonna pull it out and we're gonna poach it.
The sauce for this zone takes the opposite approach. It's made fresh daily.
We're using certified Napolitano, San Marzano tomatoes, basically from the base of Vesuvio.
With a dash of the S&P index and extra virgin olive oil.
The last ingredient is fresh basil. We like to put a lot of it in our sauce because we want it to be a big part of this flavor profile. A lot of pizzerias, you'll see they'll add sugar to their sauce to kind of get that effect, where for us, it's just that good of a tomato.
That 4-day dough comes out, and John uses a really old-school approach.
This is like a technique I kind of developed. I call it a baby dinosaur arm. Our dough's pretty fragile, and I want to put the least amount of pressure on it as possible.
The dough gets a base of that basil-y sauce, fresh mozzarella chunks, and the 3-week cotto.
The ricotta adds a layer of creaminess to the calzone that you don't find in the mozzarella. Where the mozzarella will be stretchy and have a nice chew to it, the ricotta will just kind of melt into the calzone.
He gives it the old fold and pinch, and things get spotty in the oven. A squirt of olive oil, some Parmesan, and welcome to the calzone.
Italian roots, born in Philly.
This calzone is phenomenal. The combination of the mozzarella and the ricotta is phenomenal because the ricotta is creamy, the mozzarella is stringy. It's just amazing.
Oh, it's so good. The ricotta is super light and airy, and the prosciutto adds a nice saltiness. It's mild, but it has great flavor. It's almost a moist prosciutto. Is that a thing?
The dough is really great. It's got that little bit of chewiness.
It's like the perfect ratio of filling to dough.
I used to be mozzarella all the way, but I think that the ricotta that they do here is so beautiful and so light, and just a little bit of lemon, and I think I'm becoming a ricotta girl.
Another Northern Italy favorite with the Pizzeria Vetri swirl is a daily must-have, the rotolo. Or at least it is for John.
And that's usually what I do first thing in the morning is I eat a rotolo, honestly. I'm not gonna say every day, but that's what I did yesterday, that's what I did today, and you know, we'll see what happens tomorrow.
It starts with a triple-sized ball of that chewy dough.
The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kind of stamp the air balls out. If I don't get rid of them, they're gonna kind of create thin spots.
Then he's on a roll.
We're almost to the size we want. So now pick it up, give it a nice shake.
He clears his workspace, reshapes the dough, and starts dealing the mortadella.
It's almost similar to an American bologna, but a little more flavorful and nicer. We make it, and it takes a long, long time. The grinding process itself is, you're talking about 6-7 hours.
A pound of mortadella is matched by a pound of ricotta. He carefully rolls the whole thing up and seals it with a little water.
And then we cut it to about 3-inch portions. We're gonna let it proof for about 20 minutes before we bake it.
While those savory rolls bake, John creates a simple pistachio pesto to go on top.
Now we have the color we're looking for on the dough, and we're hot throughout the rotolo. We finish with our pistachio pesto, and we're done. Pinwheel perfection.
This looks amazing.
Phenomenal. It's actually one of my favorite dishes on the menu.
Really?
It's like a cinnamon roll, but with pizza stuff. If you can imagine that. It's delicious. But I really love pistachios, so this, for me, works.
What I really love about this is the ricotta cheese, the pistachios, so it has this kind of creamy but nutty flavor, and then the mortadella adds the salt to it.
It's got the dough that has a crispy outer layer and then a soft inner layer, and you unravel it kind of. It's like a surprise every time you open it.
It's just a very satisfying little perfect little thing.
We usually order 2.
For a genuine taste of North Italy near South Philly, via Pizzeria Vetri. Just west of Detroit in Plymouth, Michigan, there's a wonderland of Italian food called Cantoro's Market in Trattoria. It's turning Motown into Mangia Town.
As an Italian, they have everything.
Truly is a specialty Italian market. A lot of Italians shop here in the market for things they'll find nowhere else. You can get the fine prosciuttos, the imported speck, the buffalo mozzarella cheese, things that you can't find in your local grocery stores.
The restaurant inside the market is more than the usual Formica booth by a deli case.
The atmosphere and vibe at Cantoro's, it's so casual. It's like eating with your family.
Every bit as good as anything we get in Italy. It's delicious. It's just delicious.
If you had to pick one dish that captures all the charms of Cantoro's market, it might be the tagliatelle alla bolognese.
Our most popular dish, hands down. Classic dish from Bologna. It's got 4 different meats in it. Very robust, tomato-based sauce. You gotta try it.
Chef Anthony Calabrese is like the mayor of marinara.
It's the mother sauce of all our sauces. So what we're gonna start with is our extra virgin olive oil. To the pan, we're gonna add our garlic, chili flakes. We're gonna toast that till it's golden brown. Smell that. Once the garlic starts toasting, like, come on. What smells better than that? Not much.
Indeed. Onions, kosher salt, and pepper round out the foundation.
Now we've got to add our tomatoes. Beautiful Italian plum tomatoes. Oh, smells amazing. Let that simmer for a few hours, and it's ready to go.
Now, you could make a respectable bolognese sauce with just ground beef, but Anthony takes us to the 4th dimension of meatiness.
Ground veal, ground beef, ground pancetta, and our house-made ground sausage.
This butcher shop quartet gets browned and seasoned. Which one is the lead singer?
The most important part of the meats is the pancetta, Italian bacon. Full of flavor, a lot of fat, cured. It's amazing. We've got to add our cream. And we're not adding a whole lot. Now we're ready for some vino. White wine, acidity, balances out the flavors.
Finally, the return of our marinara.
So now that we've got everything in the sauce, it's gonna simmer for 4 to 5 hours till the meat's nice and tender.
The fresh-made, extra-wide tagliatelle pasta provides the perfect counterpoint to our meaty, creamy sauce. It's like fettuccine that's been working out. Noodles and sauce are brought together in a pan. There's a little fresh parsley for flavor and a shot of that briny pasta water.
It lends it body to the sauce. Added a little bit of fresh Parmigiano Reggiano, king of cheese. You gotta have that. And we're ready to plate.
A final light rain of King Parm Reg and...
as my nene would say, Mangia.
This is my favorite pasta they make.
Amazing.
So good.
You can just tell the difference between freshly made pasta. I could just eat this with nothing on it.
This is the best dish at Cantoro's. It's tomato magic when it comes together.
Delicious. This reminds me of going to my grandmother's house every Sunday.
You can taste the sweetness of the basil, the saltiness of the bacon, the flavor of the veal. I mean, it's just a perfect medley with all these meats together.
I could eat this every day of my life for the rest of my life. Mangia.
That's a word packed with meaning for Italians.
The act of sitting down with family and friends, that's what it was all about. The spread's ready, you got wine in your glass, mangia. Eat, enjoy, be happy.
That is simply sweet. Almost as simple and sweet as Cantoro's cannoli.
I have to admit, even though my father's from Molise, more central Italy, they make with a custard. I like the Sicilian cannolis better because it is with the ricotta cheese.
The ricotta combines in the mixer with powdered sugar and vanilla paste.
You don't want to start out too fast, get powdered sugar everywhere. But once you get it going, turn it up to high speed till it's nice and smooth.
He stops down to toss in a few bittersweet chocolate chips.
If you put milk chocolate in there, I find it would be a little bit too sweet. You want that little bit of bitterness. Bene, ready to fill.
Getting the filling into the shell, that's Anthony's bag, baby.
When we're filling our cannoli shells, just a nice even pressure, no air gaps in there. Nice full cannoli, dip the ends. Sometimes you do one in almonds, other half in chocolate. Have fun with it.
Cantoro's cannoli. Go ahead, you deserve it.
Mangia.
So good. The shell is so crunchy, and the ricotta cheese inside, it's so creamy. It's just such a combination of textures, and then the bittersweet chocolate and the almonds, it's amazing.
There's almond, there's vanilla, everything you'd ever want in a dessert. It's delicious, it's perfect.
When in Rome, eat a cannoli.
Life can be stressful. Cantoro's is the place to go for some Mangia therapy.
The only way I stay sane is drinking wine and eating Italian.
When you go Italian in Vegas, you'll never have to gamble on getting a good meal.
You have to have Italian while you're in Vegas. You have to.
The strip hotels have some of the best chefs in the world.
And while there are plenty of traditional and high-end trattorias, if you're looking for a new take on an old-school Italian deli, it's gotta be Plantone's Italian Market.
I can't get enough of the place.
Owner Glenn Plantone drew inspiration from the food he ate growing up and brought that flavor to Vegas.
I grew up in New York, but being in Vegas is great because you got such a variety of people from all walks of life. Everybody loves Italian food. What a great spot to have Italian food.
You can get all the classics here, but Glenn also loves a good mashup as well. Like his favorite Italian meets American classic, the Italian dog.
We didn't invent the Italian dog. But in 1932, there's a gentleman in New Jersey that did, but we took some of those great elements and we wanted to bring them out west.
This throwback begins with not one, but 2 all-beef hot dogs.
We're gonna deep fry these. The texture turns out a little bit better, and they cook a little bit quicker and more thoroughly in the deep fryer versus on the flat top. It's perfect. They just started to plump a little bit, so we pulled them out right before they got too big.
For a double-decker dog like this, a regular roll won't do. Plantone's bakes up whole Italian loaves.
We're gonna cut it in half, we're gonna dig it out, and it's gonna form a boat. We're gonna throw a little butter on the flat top. So we're gonna let that sit right there, and that'll brown nicely.
It wouldn't be an Italian without their specialty, sliced onions and peppers.
That's the way to go. Italian sausage with onions and peppers is a staple. We're gonna let them grill down a little bit. As you can see, they're browning out nicely.
The dogs board the boat, followed by the veg and a potato-packed salty surprise.
You can do it a number of different ways, but this is the typical standard way they did it in New Jersey. Usually put about 15 to 20 of these guys on top. They're gonna fall off because there's too many of them, but we want people to really have a lot.
Glenn finishes with a drizzle of sharp and creamy hometown mustard.
I grew up with this. It's phenomenal. Plantone's Italian dog. Mando delicioso.
You can taste the juices, get all that rushing through at the same time. I will never eat anyone else's hot dog again. That's how good that is.
That was amazing. Oh my gosh.
It's got a really good crunch when you start, and then it's just really juicy. The onions and bell peppers almost give it like a Philly cheesesteak vibe.
It really has a baguette kind of feel to it that's soft. It has that crispiness to it.
This mustard sauce is awesome.
Sharp and creamy, sort of horseradishy nasal spice that you get, but it's really nice.
Everyone knows nothing's better than pizza, unless it's Plantone's cheesy, meaty pizza fries.
Everybody loves French fries. Everybody loves Italian. So we kind of mix the two together. When we rolled it out, we actually had over 50,000 views in the first week on Instagram.
It's even better in real life, especially when you can smell the San Marzano tomatoes that Glenn spices with oregano, salt, pepper, basil, and sugar.
You're gonna spice it up, so if it doesn't come out right the first time, you're gonna add a little bit more, and it works out really well.
Homemade meatballs are courtesy of Glenn's mom.
We made them as kids. I used to make them with my mother way 40, 50 years ago.
Red wine and beef bouillon builds flavor as egg binds.
Parmesan cheese, gotta have that. I want it all to really be blended well together so that the tastes are very consistent throughout. We use hamburger and pork. Pork adds a different element to it, and it changes the flavor, and it's a much better taste.
The meatballs are baked while Glenn grabs the steak spuds from the fryer.
We've tried the thinner shoestring fries and the steak fries. Presentation looked much better. They're bigger, they're meatier. So first we take our tin and we put our marinara sauce in the bottom of it. And then we're gonna put our fries in.
Fries start to soak up the marinara.
There's a really lot of fries in this. that makes it hearty. This is gonna be about a 2-pound affair once it's all said and done.
He sprinkles shredded mozz, then comes more sauce.
A little bit more of the mozzarella cheese and homemade Italian meatballs. And then we're gonna top it off with a little more cheese. And we're gonna pop it in the oven, and it's all gonna blend together really well.
Meltiness emerges, and even more cheese is followed by basil.
Pizza fries, your new favorite Italian dish.
Oh my God.
Man, that is
Oh, man.
This is like 2 of my favorite foods, all in one.
The fry, it actually acts like a bread. It's the perfect thing to scoop up the sauce, the cheese, and the meat.
It's Cheese Nation over here. The meatballs has the best seasoning that I've ever tasted on meatballs, and like I've had my grandma's. I'm sorry, Grandma, but it's so good.
For Molto Bene Mangia in Vegas, Plantones is Plan A.
I think he's saying this is so delicious.
Fun fact, many of your Italian favorites were actually born right here in New York City. Now they're all grown up and feeding the souls of a new generation at Macchina.
I come from a very traditional Italian family. This food is very close to how my mom would cook it.
That same love is what inspired Chef Sean Rowlandson to manja his way into the restaurant biz.
I learned Italian cuisine the old school way. I traveled, I went to Italy. I tasted, I learned. We take techniques from the old world and implement it in a way and style that people will recognize today.
And his food is comforting New Yorkers with a certain kind of precision.
Macchina means machine in Italian. You got everything. You've got the cocktails, you got the wine, you have the food.
One engine that keeps this place running is the steak fondue stromboli. Hey, that kind of looks like a calzone.
Calzone tend to have a rich marinara inside. Our stromboli doesn't really have a sauce. We're creating more of a cheesiness and richness. Everyone pretty kind of knows what fondue is, but no one's ever put fondue in a stromboli.
Like most good things in life, the fondue starts with a shot of booze.
A little white wine for the skillet. Ooh, nice. Got a little sizzle. A little white wine for the soul.
This really is a well-oiled machine.
Next step, mozzarella. Okay, blend it with the wine. Now, grappa. Grappa is an Italian brandy.
The alcohol adds flavor while helping the cheese melt in a way that's creamier. It seems to be working.
Now that's what I call a cheese pull.
Pepper and salt are expected, but what's this?
Gonna finish off with a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of honey to finish it off here. Perfect.
Another unexpected twist is Sean's choice of meat, hanger steak.
Hanger steak, a little more richness, and it really, really holds up with all the cheese sauce and the dough of the stromboli.
He stretches some of his pizza dough and lays down the mozz. Hey, I thought we were using fondue.
More cheese, always more cheese. No one hates more cheese.
Next, it's roasted peppers and onions, the sautéed steak, and that booze-infused fondue.
You want that ooziness, you want that richness to come out when you cut this thing open.
But first, there's the fold, a coating of olive oil, and a trip to Ovenville.
That's perfect. Bubbling, it's hot, steaming, here we go. Now that is a good-looking stromboli.
Even better with more fondue and extra sauces.
Stromboli with fondue. Mangia.
That's a cheese pool.
The texture of the fondue, I think, kind of speaks for itself.
It melts right in your mouth. Got a nice little kick to it, a little bit of honey. It's perfect. I think I found my new favorite dish.
It's crispy on the outside and delicious on the inside. The steak is actually cooked perfectly inside, and the fresh garlic taste is just out of this world. I'm in stromboli heaven.
Prefer some pasta? Shell out for some of Sean's reinvented spaghetti and clams.
First things first, olive oil, everyone's favorite. Next is a little bit of garlic, sliced thin. You're gonna get a little brown on that. Toasting the garlic brings out a sweetness in the garlic.
Sean adds chilies and tomatoes from the garden, fresh clams and mussels from the sea, and butter from heaven. Then he turns this classic on its ear.
We infuse our white wine with saffron. Saffron is the world's most expensive spice, but it gives off a real sort of depth of flavor and richness that you don't usually get from these kinds of dishes.
With the clams open to the idea of eating, Sean bathes the pasta in that buttery saffron sauce and brings it all together. Just a little herbaceous bling before the dinner bell rings.
Spaghetti, mussels, clams, and saffron. Get your Mangia on!
I'm so excited, it looks so good. Oh my God. That is so rich and creamy. Butter, lots and lots of butter. Garlic. So slivers of red pepper, so it's got some spice to it. No, this is gorgeous.
It's really interesting that they chose to put saffron in here. It brings out all of the flavors in the mussels and the clams without overwhelming it. It's exactly how pasta should be made. It's just like how my grandma used to make it.
This dish is stupid good.
But one of the smartest things you'll ever do is get your Mangia on at Machina. Mangia's the word when it's lunchtime in San Francisco. And when the hungry have a hankering for a slice of Italy, they head to Salumeria.
I always come back to this place because I know it's going to be good every time.
You can eat it here, you can take it to go. It's all part of the grand plan by Chef Thomas McNaughton, who learned firsthand from Italy's master chefs.
It knocked me on the head of how passionate they are about food, but also the nature of creating a meal for people.
He brought that passion stateside and changed the definition of lunch in San Francisco.
Whenever anyone orders food, I want a wow factor. And someone saying, whoa, I never thought of it like this.
The wow factor is huge in his salumi sandwich.
Our salumi sandwich is homage to hoagies back in Jersey, but also just cured meats in Italy itself and where they meet together.
The Italian-Jersey connection shines through in Thomas's version of a rustic Italian favorite, coppa.
Coppa comes from the shoulder of the pig, and I always tell people, the more that a muscle structure moves, the more flavor. There's a ton of flavor going on here.
He enhances that natural flavor with salt, fresh garlic, assorted dry peppers, and fennel pollen. What's that do?
Fennel pollen is from the flower of fennel, so it brings a lot of floral notes to the cured meat.
And that's his fennel answer. Let's rub.
This piece of meat has this amazing ratio of fat to meat. We want fat to add a little bit of moisture to the meat as it's curing.
The coppa will age for 6 months, a mere blip compared to the house-made prosciutto.
I love how an amazing prosciutto is so incredibly complex in flavor, and it's really just pork, salt, and patience.
Thomas, be must to stardate coppa.
After 6 months in the cure box, you can see all the intermuscular fat. This makes an amazing salumi sandwich.
Using an old-style hand-crank slicer, he brings sandwich readiness to the coppa, and then to his 2-year-old prosciutto.
I want this to melt on your tongue just like prosciutto butter.
Fresh baked bread is dressed Jersey style with red wine vinegar, garlic aioli, and provolone. Then Thomas builds Meat Mountain. The coppa, imported salami, his house prosciutto, and house-cured ham.
To balance all the richness of the sandwich, we have a fermented pepper relish. On the East Coast, especially in Jersey, they call it hot peppers.
A little lettuce, and please, let us eat.
2 years in the making, our salumi sandwich.
It's a good texture. There's so much flavor in all the different layers. Whatever the relish is, that has a lot of spice to it. It's a really delicious sandwich.
Went through like 5 different flavors as I was chewing it, and each meat almost has that little bit of zest. That's good.
The sandwich is so good. You can tell that there's been a lot of effort put into curing this meat for so long. If you want Italian, come here, have this sandwich, and you're gonna be real happy.
Here's another Jersey standard with a West Coast Mangia makeover. The eggplant parmesan sandwich.
Here in the Bay Area, we grow so many different amazing types of eggplant that add different flavor nuances, different textures.
Rosa Bianca has a creamy taste, while Japanese eggplant adds bitterness. Once breaded, they go into the fryer along with little eggplants that go in whole. Thomas also creates his own tomato chutney.
We just use organic heirloom tomatoes and cook them down really briefly. We have a ton of spices in it, but also has a brightness and acidity that comes through to cut all the fat and richness of the fried eggplant.
A Jersey-style Kaiser roll and his fresh arugula are the sturdy base for a big medallion of eggplant, followed by that tomato chutney and fresh burrata. He does it all again, then crowns it with fresh basil for bite. And speaking of biting,
classic East Coast meets West Coast in our eggplant parmesan.
It looks amazing. The eggplant's really great. It's perfectly done. There's like a tomatoey chutney down below, which gives it a little bit of an afterkick burn, which is nice. Oh, that's good.
That was so good. Is that a burrata?
Ah, that burrata was great. And they had such a perfect contrast with the crispness of the eggplant. It's like going to an orchestra. It's different if you hear the individual instruments, but when they all go together and, they make a symphony.
And at Salou Maria, the Italian flavors are so well orchestrated, all you can do is eat. Every corner of the country has a claim to the spirit of Mangia, especially down in Miami. And at Jack's Home Cooking in the Brickell neighborhood, it's more like Mama Miami.
It's kind of like being in Goodfellas.
Welcome to Jack's, guys.
It has this sort of classic Italian vibe.
Jack's Home Cooking is a place we can recommend without reservation. Of course, you will need a reservation. Good luck with that.
Hey, how do I get a table? How do I get a table? So they got to call either a friend of mine or call us up and reserve a table out. We're like 60 days out now.
Chef John J.P. Parlavecchio is a larger-than-life figure in these parts. He's like an uncle to the whole community, serving big plates of love.
When I give it to somebody and I see them come back for it and the smile on their face, they tell me that it's like their grandmother used to make. That's what gets me. That's why I do it still.
JP knows if you take the time to do the simple basics right, you'll end up with something transcendent, like the lasagna.
We'll start with San Marzano tomatoes, whole plum tomatoes, and I'm gonna squash them.
Then kosher salt, pepper, and garlic.
One thing you never want to do is not have the garlic opened up or the pan cold, because when you put the tomatoes in, you want to hear that noise like, you hear the sound? That's when you know you did it right. If you don't hear that sound, you did something wrong.
It sounds like a small thing, but that sizzle unlocks extra flavor from the garlic. And of course, there's basil.
My grandfather used to put a piece of basil in his nose, fresh basil, and walk around basil in his nose all day. I'd say, Pop, what are you doing? He goes, you want to smell anything else? Or you want to smell this? He said, all right.
That simmers for about an hour and will eventually meet some ground sirloin, ricotta, and whole milk mozzarella.
I put mozzarella on top also at the end, so I put this in the filling so it's on every layer. And chopped parsley. A little bit of salt, a little more pepper. Again, layers. Now you mix it up.
Soon the stacking begins. JP learned this recipe from his grandma, whether he wanted to or not.
No, I was trying to go out and play basketball, and she grabbed me by my neck and said, come on downstairs and help me. You're gonna learn. All right.
Lasagna is serious business.
When I see people eat it, that's when I smile. And for the final layer, we put the mozzarella, the shredded mozzarella, you cover it, put in the oven, 425, 450 for about 30 minutes, and I'm done.
I predict some serious smiling.
Jack's home-cooked lasagna, just like my Nona used to make.
Wow. Sauce is perfect, not super heavy. This is made from the heart, for sure.
I mean, I really hate to say this, but I think it may be better than my mom's. And sorry, Mom, I do love you and your food.
How Italian is the food at Jack's? Just 2 degrees away from Sinatra himself. JP studied under one of Frank's personal chefs, who taught him what happens when you mess with what works.
You know, some people want to invent new stuff. I was told to keep it traditional and the same, or I get hit in the head with a spoon.
If Frank was here today, I'm sure he'd say, try the sausage and peppers, baby.
We have sweet Italian sausage with fennel. I get it shipped in from New York.
He'll poke holes in that meaty coil, then bake it in some oil.
Again, extra virgin olive oil. The better the oil, the better it tastes.
Then rolls it over to the grill for a nice crispy char.
2 minutes both sides, then we cut it.
Then he sautés it all up in a flash with onions and peppers.
This reminds me of the boardwalk back in New Jersey. Point Pleasant, Seaside Heights, the games, beach,
salt, sausage and peppers.
An authentic bite of the Jersey Shore right here in Miami.
Jack's homemade sausage, peppers, and onions. Mangia.
The sausage is just the most robust flavor that you could imagine.
I love the fennel in there. I love the peppers, plus the onions. So it's mixing all different kinds of flavors, so that makes it really delicious.
If my mother was Italian, that's what she'd make.
At Jack's Home Cooking in Miami, you've hit the Mangia jackpot. Quality you can trust.
I don't trust a skinny chef, and I don't trust someone that comes in and doesn't taste what they're making.
From Italian beef sandwiches to deep dish pizza, Americanized Italian food is what Chicago was built on. And in Lincoln Park, they never forget it.
Italian food.
Chicago style.
Italian-American comfort food satisfies families and free spirits alike at the ever-popular Pasta Bowl.
The ultimate comfort food. It provides everything I need.
The bowl's big cheese is Taylor Owie.
It's classic, it's relatable. Everybody knows Italian food. You just have to taste it. When you taste it, you know.
Have a new adventure with an old friend when you twirl your fork into the chicken parmesan.
Chicken parm is decadence on a plate.
Leading the decadent adventure is Chef Juan.
It takes around 3 or 4 hours to make it, and you gotta make it with a lot of love.
Love in the house starts with chicken in the kitchen.
Nice and big chicken breast.
Juan slices the plump chunks into uniform cutlets. Pounding the poultry gets it even flatter. Then a powder of flour, a wash of egg, and a coating of breadcrumbs.
We make our breadcrumbs fresh daily. It's fresh garlic, fresh rosemary, fresh parsley, and some Parmesan cheese.
When it's all dressed up, the chicken dips out and Juan makes the marinara.
We use all our vegetables fresh.
After browning the garlic and sweating the onions,
we're gonna add some fresh tomatoes, a little bit of basil. I'm gonna put a little more tomatoes in.
The marinara gets thick with black pepper and a long simmer. Then Juan blends in the spaghetti, making a delicious nest for the massive fried chicken, and topping that with gobs of smoked mozzarella.
It's gotta be big and cheesy.
Massive and melty and warm and comfy. Slide it on home, sprinkle with parsley, and give it a name.
Chicken parm.
Oh, I've been waiting for this all day.
Delicious.
Just like Mom used to make.
It starts off crunchy, and then you get into the meat of it, and it's so soft and melts.
The crispiness of the chicken, the pasta, the cheese melted on the chicken, it's out of this world.
This is exactly what Italian food should be.
Say ciao to chowing down at Pasta Bowl, where Chicago finds comfort and love. We came, we saw, we mangied. Until the next course. Ciao, Bella.